This next story has been suppressed by mainstream media. Let's go to Andreas for more.
Everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
Hello. Welcome to the Exators. Tune in for another exciting episode of wonder, imagination, and discovery.
Recent Tartarians.
Она образует всеобщие закономерности, определяющие законы классической физики для нашего
Sometimes I
мира.
look at the moon and just think, the skin's beautiful.
Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown.
Что касается энергии наномер, то она превышает ядерную в немыслимое число раз. 10 в 74 степени.
That's it. That's it. That's it. With your arms now. That's it. That's it.
Thank you for watching Exators. Keep listening. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, please follow and subscribe and share and support. It really helps. Coming up next, Exators.
By the way, that's gone. If you didn't record that, that's gone forever. It's gone.
So I was going to title this video Prediction Civil War is Coming, but I think it's hot take. Civil War has already started. And so Brittany is here, Secretarian, like legacy alumni of both Minnesota and the Tartary Nova. We're going to talk about that right now. But how are you, Brittany? What's going on?
I'm doing all right. It's been a crazy week.
That's a crazy question to ask, actually, considering what you've been through.
Like, be programmed myself in one way and trying to figure out what is actually happening here has been really challenging. So, and even just, we're aware that the media is very misleading, and even the YouTubers that I watch to try and get to the bottom of what's happening have been also just a lot of skewed views and perceptions. And
totally,
I also work
on both sides
in that community, so it's like, yeah. Right and left.
Well, let me say that about you really quick. Actually, that's important. So I know everyone who's been part of Tartary Nova, Secretarian, Brittany, but you might not know like some of the stuff she actually does. And she works in Minnesota, right? And so this is one of the things. She works in the educational system in Minnesota, and not just at like one school, but at like all of them. Pretty much all the schools in Minnesota that have kids. She goes back and forth to these different schools and works with different kids. Well, am I missing something? I mean, that's basically you drive across the state to different schools.
I do. I work with a lot of different schools, not every school in Minnesota, but a lot of schools. And I'm working in I'm charter schools, and I'm working in a lot of Somali charter schools. So
with the Somali
like 100%.
kids.
Yeah, yes. So, and I'm the only non-Somali person in those schools. Yes, I have. And I did investigate the fraud. Okay, the fraud is a whole other thing that's going on in Minnesota. And is there feedback on my mic? Is it too loud? I'm hearing
no, it's totally cool on my side.
Okay.
I don't know if you have two windows open for you, but I hear you fine. I think you're perfect.
Okay. So yeah, just with seeing all these schools coming here, but there's been like an actual recruitment because we are a sanctuary city there. And in like 2016, I was looking into our I don't even know how I found it, but it was like a recruiting thing where they were going to recruit Somalis to come work at the World Market and give them housing and all this stuff. And I started looking into it, and I work there now. Maybe I should be careful what I talk about, but I noticed a lot of fraud and scandal that I suspected was because it was so much money going to these people, this community of people. And so I didn't really, that's when I was investigating like textbooks and food and all that stuff. So I was just like, wow, I thought that's crazy that we're doing that. That can't be illegal, but whatever. It's crazy now that they're showing the same like facilities that I was looking at and that are next to and connected to my schools, like the daycares and the transportation services are I've always just said, why is there no one there? Like, what is this? And so you have that 23-year-old Mormon kid going around and exposing it, which is crazy that got through, because I think even my sister mentioned seeing that. And because they're not covering it. They're not in Minnesota. It's not like the local news is saying it's fraud and Wallace is going down. It's Wallace is controlling our local news and asking us to go protest, get ICE out. It's really bizarre times here. I've never experienced anything like this. I was like scared. I didn't sleep for a couple of days because I was just like trying to figure out what was going on after they said that they had Ilhan Omar come out and say that on the 23rd is the National Protest ICE Day and Mourn Renee Good Day, and no schools, no shopping, and no working on Friday the 23rd. And I was like really worried that somehow that was going to be mandated, as they posted on your Discord a little bit in the politics sections about it, just because I didn't know, and I didn't know again what last weekend it was the military was doing a
Is it just me? I thought that maybe I was having a problem, but I think Brittany's audio might be, or computer might be, the signal's not coming through. Let me look at the page really quickly. Oh no, Brittany, if you can hear that, try to relog into the thing. I might have to send you a message. But yeah, like while she's logging back, Minnesota Faculty Union calls for economic blackout to protest ICE operations in Minneapolis. So interfaculty organization urges members to skip work and shopping on January 23rd. And 23rd is going to come in, over and over again. We've actually been wanting to talk about this for a few days because I heard about this, and the 23rd is going to be a major point. Oh, are you back? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah. I was just talking that whole time. Like,
you got glitched.
When did I get cut off?
You got yeah. So I was just you got glitched out about the time you brought up the 23rd when you mentioned that there's going to be a blackout on the 23rd. Oh. You kind of just cut it.
Interesting. Okay.
That again.
So on the 20th, man, I just went off there. Oh, darn it. What did I say? Okay. Oh, okay. So on the 23rd, Ilhan Omar, there was this news clip, right? It was like 10 p.m. No one saw it. No one was like talking about it. And it was just like, on January 23rd, no one's going to, we're not going to go to work. We're not going to go to schools, and we're not going to go shopping, and we're going to go down and protest. So it was those three things. And I had that really tore me up, because I was like, can Waltz come in and say, we're closing schools on Friday, like this week, this coming week. And I don't think he can, but if that happened, I was kind of going to be triggered to go and do some type of protest, because I feel like if you're going to be closing the schools, and so it's not even an issue anymore, I don't think, but if Waltz does that, then we'll have to have another video about where I'm at, because I felt like I was going to have to like take a knee to my state and teach my kids bad morals, or like ill morals, right, about mourning all day for this person. I don't want that to even be something my kids are thinking about. So it's like, if I was going to be forced to not work, my kids are going to not have a school to go to. I was like, well, then we're going to go to the schools and be like, let us learn. Now, like, let us learn at the schools is another thing, because like obviously I'm not the biggest supporter of public school systems, but the fact that now they wouldn't even be allowed to go there, it was just like, that's crazy that they're even talking about that, and they're encouraging here.
There's some weird context here. So Minnesota is a very cold place in the winter, and often the roads, you can't drive on them, and they have snow days where the roads have ice.
Well,
on
it's
the
usually
road.
snow. Usually, no, we've always had snow days. So let's back up. So last week they closed schools on Thursday and Friday here. Not in my. I'm in a suburb area. Well, we're yearning to become a suburb. I am north of that. So they closed schools for Minneapolis on Thursday and Friday, and a lot of these kids in St. Paul and Minneapolis, like they need to go to school. They should be at school. They have terrible home lives. So that just made me so upset, thinking none of these kids can go to school. So they closed school. But before that, on Tuesday, so this is Thursday, Friday, they closed school. Like schools all over the state, randomly, there was this ice. And that's the day. It was like when
in the morning.
Yeah, it was 4 a.m, and it was like when, which is also weird. Usually you get the phone call that school is going to be delayed at 6 or whatever. So it was 4 a.m, and it was delayed for school at inclement weather. I'm like, it's not even raining or snowing or anything like that. No storm, and it was from ice. So I guess there was ice all over that morning, literally, because Trump sent them in, but also ice on the road. So school was closed Tuesday for some kids, and then again on Thursday and Friday. Both of them were for ice, but one was literally for ice. The other one was
frozen material
for the ice agency.
Yeah.
Frozen ice. Yeah.
Weird.
One was frozen ice and one was the other ice. So that was just like already weird.
And how often have you ever gotten
the 23rd?
Have you ever gotten a call at 4 o'clock?
That's the first ice day. I've never had an ice day.
Ice? Yeah.
No,
that was at 4 o'clock in the morning.
We were the first school though notified about that. My kid's school was the first school that was up on all the news websites.
Yeah.
Which was also weird. I was like the first person called to be notified about the ice.
Like
we're usually like the last school on the whole list of schools. So
again, that makes sense because you have to drive to dozens of schools in the area, and again, a lot of these are schools where the Somali kids are charter schools. Maybe you can explain what's this deal. So what you've told this before to me, but there are literally charter schools for Somalis in Minnesota.
Okay, so when they 30 years ago when they started to come to Minnesota. I don't know if they just already had their own schools going or if they were kind of integrated in with everybody else. But the more I'm thinking about it now is I don't know how many are integrating. I want to look at the public schools now and see, are there any Somali students or are they only in these charters, which whatever. But so they have so many, they have a lot of
segregation is kind of crazy in 2025 now.
Somali. Yeah, right. Good point. And if you look it up, there's many more. They're labeled throughout all, because when I was researching like what's going on, because it was like immigration fraud that I was looking into with or migrant, I don't even know what to call it. And if you look it up, there's so many that are labeled schools, and also just the mosques are everywhere in the basements of buildings. This is what I did not want to talk about on your channel today.
Well, again, it's just really interesting.
I don't know that
no one has the context for this.
I do not want to get into any trouble, but there's a lot of buildings that are not mosques that are labeled as mosques that people are meeting at for maybe religious purposes or I don't know what they're meeting for. And I don't know if we're going to go down this road because the end game is if we're going, they're talking martial law, they're talking this, Governor Wallace telling us to go protest ICE, record ICE, get in their faces, disrupt them. They're doing illegal things. It's Minnesota's rights. We are a sanctuary city. They're violating our rights. They're just getting everybody all fired up. And then, so we, martial law. But then if you have a group of people here from, Somalia that have a different kind of law, because they run what kind of laws in Somalia? Isn't it Sharia law? And I don't know if that's we can't probably go there, but I'm just wondering at the end of this conversation, I wanted to get to the point where we're like, could that potentially be something? So be thinking about that, because that's my final question at the end of all this is like, what happens then? Oh, and then I don't know if you saw Jesse Ventura said he was going to make a pitch. No one's seen this. He said he was going to run for governor.
Can I put that?
Because he was all fired up and mad about it. Okay, go ahead and look for it. So here's what we need to get accomplished today, though, for everybody. So you have people hating each other right now, and right now, if I had been watching the same programming that the left is, I would be leading all the protests in my state. I wouldn't have slept. I'd be getting signs. I would be fighting, because what they're being told is insane. And if that was happening, I'd be doing exactly what they were doing. So for an example, and this is what is really important. I have my family is split. I have conservatives on, and then liberals on side, very close, siblings and parents split. And I'm trying to teach my kids about all this media stuff, but I finally got through to my daughter by just explaining a very basic thing. And this is maybe the way that we can start talking to each other, because they've made it so lefts and rights cannot talk, by specifically designing the language around it, by specifically offending the other side. If you ever tuned in, so, if a left watches Fox, you can't, maybe 30 seconds they could go, or to like 5 minutes before they were directly insulted and made to not watch it. And the same, it'll be like, and the retarded lefts, and they're like, well, this isn't for me. They're not talking to me. You can't watch it. And I know this because when I got turned liberal, I know the class that programmed me to be liberal. It's crazy. And so I know how I was when I thought those ways. And then when I was programmed, when I started to like drop all that, I was so frustrated watching the right-sided media, because I'm like, no one's going to watch this. No left person is going to ever watch this because you're insulting them. But
Right.
the CNN and MSN do the same. They're like the Nazis and this. But why that's so important is to make sure nobody watches the other news, because you have Fox saying illegal aliens, and you have, they don't say illegal immigrants even on mainstream. They say immigrants. And
Undocumented workers, right?
So the reason I wanted to talk about just finding a way to talk to these other sides is they're literally just telling complete lies to these people. And you have Tim Pool and Asmongold going around and making fun, especially as making fun of all these liberals. And I get it. It's some of the stuff they're saying is ridiculous, but consume what they're consuming and assume that it's true, because people think news is true. Then everybody should be doing what they're doing. And I'm in the wrong. If I was watching what anyone else was watching right now, my governors, and believing it, I would be protesting. And it's sick because,
Well, yeah.
what do you do?
They want you on both sides. They want you protesting both
Yeah.
sides. And that's
Can you
kind
pull up that
and
picture we were talking about too earlier?
Yeah, just 2 seconds. Like, I wanted to comment on that, which is that, in the old days, the Democrats or the left, they were up on their high horse when they were in charge of everything, and they weren't really hearing the criticisms against them at the time, which led to the MAGA movement, the Trump movement, et cetera, the conservatives kind of making their play. Now the conservatives are in charge, and I feel like they're doing the same thing and becoming tone deaf to the criticisms against them as well, and aren't really aware of what's going on. And it's a concern, right? Because things get very myopic when you're focusing on just this one day and what's going on with this one issue. But we have all of these little archetypes, like these archetypical murders or crucifixions, martyrdoms, sacrifices during riots and protests. Oh, it's this mother getting sacrificed, right? And on one hand, people are saying, oh my God, I have to go out there because I saw this on TV. I have to go, stand up for this, this archetype that's been destroyed. And on the other hand, you have a lot of the conservatives saying there's thank God we finally have a justification for what? For a police state, right? Like people are grateful that American citizens are being shot. Now, I mean, it's reductionist. Obviously, this is someone who made a mistake and they were going and doing something wrong, I would even say, and all that. You can't just be cut and dry like defense of criminality, but you can't
have a day of mourning either at this time.
You can't have a day of mourning. And it's crazy, this idea that people are calling for what is essentially a Kristallnacht. They're demanding they have people murdered, or that they have police state empowered to murder. And that's a really weird thing from the side that's doing that after what they've been through. But now that they're in charge, this is how it always works. It's very Nietzschean. You end up in charge. You end up being willing to hurt the other side. And they're just desperate to see, people that are, if the police can kill, or if the agencies can kill someone that you want them to be punished, right? They can punish them. They can punish you. And that's just the weird thing we're seeing is this hyper escalation. Okay, so I know you wanted to pull up the photo really quickly.
Just any photo. So I just want to give this example because this is how my daughter was finally like, oh, oh my gosh, did you tell that to Auntie? I was like, I've been trying for, a long time to both sides. So we have, if there's a story about an illegal immigrant being deported, generally speaking, okay, the left will show an image of this person, and the right will show an image of this person. It'll be the exact same image of them arresting the same thing. It's the same exact image. So the left will have the headline and run the news, and it'll be family, father, business owner, local Somali immigrant wrongfully taken and deported. And they'll have that image, and it'll look violent, and like ICE is like getting this guy. And then, or it could be, let's say it was Venezuelans or whatever. Then you go to the right, and it's saying same exact image, and it's saying drug runner, gang leader, rapist, murderer, and we got him. And so, and an illegal immigrant. And so we have now,
completely
if either side
different.
of those saw the other side, they both agree with it. So if say the left side of my family was watching that same story, they'd be like, good, get that evil bad guy out of here. And then if the right's watching it, saying, well, it's a legal immigrant that's here as an immigrant, no illegal, there's no illegal ever attached to it. It's an immigrant. So they literally are training them to think that they're taking just general legal citizens and deporting them too, which is also misleading. So granted, and my daughter was just like, wow, they can't do that. I'm like, that's what they're doing. They're showing the same exact thing and telling this side that that's what it is, and this side completely something else. So neither side is wrong about how they feel about the situation, because they're looking at both of them. No one, they're good. They're doing what is best and good and what you would do if you had the same programming. So to make fun of them and call them idiots, it's like, if people aren't going out right now to protest, it's either and they're not awake, they're just bad people. Like if you're awake, you're not going out because this is all hoopla. But if you were just watching this as a regular citizen, everybody should be up in arms about what ICE is doing.
Yes, and this is the irony.
Further into that, because I had to figure out how I feel, and now I know.
Scott, I think you got part of this right. The left is wrong, but the first part you have, the one side is correct. That's the wrong. That's so wrong. It hurts, bro. Like, no, they're not right. The right is wrong and the left is wrong right now. I'm not saying that.
Nobody has the information correct. So
yeah, there's too much information being hidden.
Here's me. I'm in a sanctuary city, whatever. I didn't even know what that was. Okay.
Both sides are marching as gradually for
I don't
tyranny.
know. Obviously,
this is it. This is the answer.
And also, California. So as a state, we have rights, supposedly, right? So I started to get upset when I thought about ICE coming in, not for this reason. If it was ICE, if it was anyone doing anything that was my state's rights,
like what it is,
the state's rights being taken away.
Yeah.
Your state's rights is being taken away, and you don't have warning. The president doesn't give you any warning, and they just come in and they start wreaking havoc.
We agree that the left have made this problem, and that it's we figured this is as close to justified as it could be for the federal government to take away your rights. But it is I'm saying that there's the justification by the corruption. Everyone, we can all agree there's extreme corruption, and this corruption is enough justification. It might be the closest to enough justification we'll ever get for this, Nazi takeover. But that doesn't mean it's not what it is. What you're saying is still, this is the taking away of the sovereignty of a state, right? That's objectively what's happening. But even if you think it's justified.
But I found out. Okay, so what does it mean to be a sanctuary city? Okay, so we do offer refuge now for 1 year. Okay, 1 year. So I had to find this out. So
if I come in as a refugee, I get 1 year asylum. That's the way that works.
I don't know if it's from everywhere. So they had 1 year, and I guess their 1 year happened to expire right at this time of this stuff with Renee Good. And that's why ICE is going in. And it's not Minnesota. It's everywhere, all over the country. So I was like, what? You can't target Minnesota just because of this fraud. That doesn't make them like violent people that you need to come in with ICE and do all this. They already sent people to investigate the fraud. This is different. And so it's this 1 year expiratory thing, which no one's being told about either. Okay. Like that we have that 1 year granted for them. Now, conservatives need to respect that because this is our state. That's what we have. And liberals need to respect that 1 year. Past presidents maybe didn't enforce it after a year. They were lax on it. I have no idea. But if you know what Trump is like and he's coming in and enforcing all these rules and you have the 1 year and it's expired and you're like, well, so I was upset. I was upset my state's rights are being taken, or are they?
No,
no one
objectively
knows.
they are.
I mean, nobody's telling you anything.
They are, but it's
not really, because we
no.
were a sanctuary. He's following the rules. It's been a year. They let us be a sanctuary city. We for the year. That time is up. So now ICE is going in to enforce it because the sanctuary cities that the federal government had allowed to have that rule of a year. And maybe there wasn't enough people to enforce it before, and people were just staying longer.
That's a good point. No, I mean,
I think,
right
and I'm not
it's
the
still,
expert.
it still
Once
seems
I
like,
found that out, I was like, okay, there's a way to do it that's way better. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying, is it
right?
Was he within like the bounds of doing what?
Yeah,
he could
is it
do,
in bounds?
You know,
and it might be
I
in
think
bounds.
so.
It sounds like
I think
it is.
so.
Right.
And should there have been a warning? Because what I looked up was like, how long did they have notice? Because if I was in Somalia and Minnesota contacted me and said, come here, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you this, we want you here, right? I'd be like, all right, let's try it out. Do. It's a sanctuary city. And then all of a sudden I just got taken. I have a lot of issues with that. That's terrible to do to somebody, right? We shouldn't do that. It's just, I don't know why anyone would do that. So I thought that's what was happening. Now, another thing I found out is the amount. So the left will say they're taking all these family people, loving, working, and those are the only people getting sent back. And the right will say it's only violent offenders. They're not even going after law-abiding immigrants. Neither is true. Here's the details. Oh, I think it was 33% of the deportations are 33% again, and 67 is the whatever. So 60% are actually people that have committed a crime right now, and 33 have committed no crime. And when I hear that, that seems like it's way lower of a number of non-violent people that are being deported than what the most of the news I'm seeing is saying. But it's not
like
100%.
a third of the people are non-violent criminals. They're criminals because they're not legally there, but they're not violent criminals, right?
Which is a kind of like, okay, correct. But they're exactly. So now the question of illegal or legal versus criminal record or non-criminal record, that's another thing that confuses things. Because it's like you have an illegal immigrant, someone that's here illegally. Now, then there's another layer of that if they're an illegal immigrant here in a sanctuary city. It's that extra level of protection. So there's just a lot of layers of things that you have to study to even understand how to feel about this issue right now. Which is where I didn't know if I was going to go protest. I was like, what would I even do right now as a protester? Because the sides aren't right. Neither one is saying the right thing about any of it.
Right. And I like what Zach's saying here. It's actually more criminal to allow them in. Treason is worse. There's something to that. I think that some of these people are just the victims.
So allowing them in. Okay, I hear that.
A lot of these people that are brought in are probably not the problem. It's the people bringing them in.
They were sent things from Minnesota saying that we had a workability issue.
Like, this guy is probably worse than 90% of the nonviolent Somalis.
Sorry, I'm having technical issues.
Oh, did you get frozen?
So
Sorry.
That last comment. Hello.
I hear you.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So I did get froze. That last comment was, don't let them in. Okay. They weren't let in. They were recruited. They were sent
good word
letters. Okay. This is what I was looking at in 2016 and said, we had an underemployment problem here. Or whatever. We don't have enough people to work at the world market. We need people. We recruited them. So don't let them in. What do you like? I guess maybe you're talking about illegals that are coming here. We recruited
maybe also,
people and gave them sanctuary.
Can you explain the difference between cost plus and the world market? Because when I hear the world market, I think of this like little shop in my town that is this cost plus world market.
Oh no, we have the world market here is huge in
like an airport size like bazaar filled with Somalis.
Size mall.
Yeah.
Not just is it just Somalis? I thought it was.
Well, I mean,
world
it's just
market.
it's the right. There's
no, because we have quite a culture. Yes, we have a
Yeah,
great culture in Minnesota.
that's
So,
a
yes.
weird thing about Minnesota. It's hyper diverse. It's incredibly hyper diverse. There's all sorts of different people from
And
countries that
Michigan
don't even
and the
exist anymore
Midwest.
because the CIA destroyed them, right? Like parts of Cambodia
True.
and Hmong that don't even, they're not even countries anymore. So it's pretty fascinating.
And so 5-6 years ago when I was looking at this, and we talked about it then, and also in Michigan, in the Midwest, this recruitment of this Somali population. And it was just like, what's the end game for that? Why
Can I
bring them right
reiterate-
into
can I-
the Midwest?
Can I reiterate something really quickly, which is that the history of Minnesota is when the United States government destroys a nation state, they take refugees from that nation state. And I mean, you can go back as far as you want to on that. Like after they destroyed Germany in World War II, they took all these Germans and they brought them to Minnesota. After they destroyed Cambodia and they destroyed China and the PRC with Nixon took over, all the people that were working with the CIA at the time, who were part of the former Hmong people, they were being genocided by the PRC. They were brought to Minnesota. All the Somalis, because guess what we were doing, not just in Kuwait or Eritrea, we were in Somalia and the creation of Somaliland. Guess what happened to the victims who were working with the CIA? They ended up in Minnesota. And this just seems to be the place that they send people. It's insane, really, to look at that history. But yeah, recruiting is a good word.
Maybe that they sent. Well, yeah, that was like the recruiting of families, get these businesses started. And this is when we had like just, unemployment was high, but I don't know if people didn't want to work or what. And so that was, but it's been for 30 years. That was just like a big push in like 2016 to fill these positions. And I was like, okay, then I looked at like Michigan too. And I thought, why here of all the places, especially such a different climate, something they're not used to, why not, somewhere warmer or whatever, just whatever. It was just all these questions started getting raised. And so then I was really worried that they were gearing up for what this is. And I think I was possibly right. And this has been a part of the plan from the beginning of the plans, obviously. And it's happening and it's scary, but it's also kind of exciting time to be alive because we have so many opportunities to explain how the media is lying, honestly. That was the first time I was able to talk to my daughter and just get an instant, like, oh, I get it. And so when I talk to my sister later, or if I talk to my parents, because they're being trained to hate the other side, it's like they're doing what is good. Honestly, if you heard what they were being told, you would think the exact same thing.
Well,
and it's the insults too. Yeah, it's just
Well, you kind of joked about this, like, to me originally. You're like, if there would be like a epicenter to start the Civil War, I think we joked like it could easily be Minnesota. And we were saying this, you were saying this before even the George Floyd thing, right? And we were a half hour from where the George Floyd
and that's
thing
where
happened.
I am right now too.
Yeah, and your sister, like you're saying, your liberal sister, who's been on the show when we talked about the election, she was working at a pharmacy that she had to escape during the BLM riot, the George Floyd riots. So there's been a lot of stuff that's happened over the last few years, and what's crazy is like to see it so close, to get to know Waltz before this happened, and then for Waltz to run as the vice presidential campaign with Kamala Harris.
That's why
put this weird limelight on Minnesota, and people are hearing about like this week with the good woman, which I think is such an interesting archetypical symbol that they're using, the death of the good woman. This is, they say this is going around the Europe and Eurasia. Like the world has heard this story.
The good woman. They killed the good one.
Where they killed the good woman.
Yeah, I know right away. I was like, really, your name's good. Seriously.
Well, but it's just it's kind of has to be simple because we're dealing with so many different languages.
Here's how bad the lies are though in Minnesota. Okay, so here's another one. We had, I think, 5 prosecuting attorneys step down. Okay, left reporting it is in protest. They resigned in protest for this. The right is saying they were fired. So we have a whole staff thinking that they resigned because they're so upset. We have lawyers resigning because they're so upset. And then you have the right thinking, good, they got these people out of here that were or whatever, because they weren't going to prosecute something, so they let him go.
Damages
I have no
done,
idea the
so
truth.
disobedient.
They maybe did resign and got all together and wanted to protest ICE, but if that's the case, the right isn't going to know about it.
Well, I can't be sure. I can't be certain of anything, but I would say the likelihood of someone that wants to make a difference resigning out of protests so that they can't make a difference seems a little. I'm a little skeptical of that story.
Well, also think about this. This is the most embarrassing. I'm not necessarily embarrassed by it, but for Minnesotans, it's the most embarrassing case of anything. Fraud, biggest case of fraud in like world history. I mean, they're finding out that, you'll have to see that kid just did another report, that 23-year-old, and busted open a whole bunch more yesterday or today. I think the video was dropped about what else the money is. So this is not just in Minnesota. This is federal money they're taking too. And so we have Minnesotans' tax dollars and the federal tax dollar programs. It's affecting everybody. And it's going to end up, it could be more than, it's a lot of billions of dollars right now. Someone was saying trillions, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But
money's not real anymore.
Bad.
It could easily be trillions. It's like so screwed up. I want to read this. Renee, because Renee Good, right, is the good woman. Renee is from French, and it derives from Renatus, meaning reborn or born again, which is kind of an interesting name for someone. And yes, Black Eye, I think this was confirmed. I read this, that Renee Good's name was Googled prior to the incident in Tel Aviv. They have a record of the search for her name. So just before the story broke, well,
why in Tel Aviv?
Anomalous. God only knows.
Is that one of the agents there? Just wanted to see if their little plot was like.
I mean, what a crazy thing to wonder, right? Who knows, right? It's a beautiful story.
Oh,
now I do want to bring up something though, because we were talking about this a few days ago. So I made a list of things I wanted to make sure I covered. And I made a tweet about this. I said, someone told me years ago that the Civil War would start in Minnesota. It's starting now, right? And I said, here are the bullet points.
Oh, yeah. What else is happening on the 20th? So I lost my mind. Okay, I'm going to be honest, guys. When I was told that I might not have school for my kids and I couldn't work because I was supposed to mourn Renee Good and go protest ICE,
banging your head against the wall.
I was not okay with it. And I was pacing and I was like, can Waltz do this? Can the governor close down my state for these reasons? Because then I have to address my kids about it. And that is not okay. And I'm not going to be quiet, and I'm not going to be passive, and I'm going to go protest. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just got triggered. They got me that fast. I'm like, they got me that fast. And I'm like trained to not be triggered by this, to know what to see. But this was like, I was going to have to take a knee and not, to something that I didn't believe in. And because I don't know yet what I even fully believe, I'm trying to get there. But it was just, so I was like, all right, what else is going on that day? I was like, okay, let me just, before they mandate this, let's see what else is going on the 23rd in Minnesota.
Right.
So, did you pull that up? That was great.
Yeah. Let me.
And then I was like, oh my gosh.
So number one,
so, yeah, it's
Hillary
like Hillary
Clinton's January 23rd Target Center. She'll be at the Bull's Eye. The Target.
1, 2, 3.
The queen of the deep state cabal swoops into Minneapolis 7:30 for an quote unscripted talk on her quote public service legacy. Literally, these are the words they chose to use: an unscripted talk on her public service legacy. Coincidence? This signals to her puppets the plan is live. She's there to rally the faithful, drop coded instructions, and oversee the spark while the sheep think it's just a speech. I think this is not a coincidence. Then the day of the blackout, right? They're calling this the blackout, right? Where you're not supposed to shop. You're not supposed to shop on the day of the blackout. And who's saying this? They're it's
an Ilhan Omar, but
Ilhan Omar, and they're saying that you're not supposed to shop. So where is Hillary Clinton going to be speaking? At the Target shopping center, right?
Well, it's actually Target Field.
Okay.
It's a baseball field, that Target. Yeah, Target Center.
Oh,
not
Target.
At a
Target finances.
Target finances it. Yes.
Yeah.
Target.
Yeah.
But it's at Target Center. That was one of the things happening that day. The other thing was, are you going to go? Do you have the other ones or not?
Yeah, I can. Do you want?
Okay. The department. I think there was that's the end of the Homeland Security Conference that's also taking place that the like 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So there's a Homeland Security Conference in Minnesota that's also on the 23rd. And if anybody knows much about Homeland, that's an interesting group of people to have here. And there's also going to be, there you go. Homeland, oh no, that's different. That's Homeland. So anyway, Homeland Security is going to be there. January 23rd, Chaos. Oh my gosh. These are funny. So I don't know if you saw that one, or if you can search it. I mean, regardless, it was Homeland Security. And then it said the Truth and Freedom Rally, which I don't know if that's like a Proud Boys or small group of things. And I haven't looked more into if that's actually happening.
I mean, you mean
that was
Operation Metro Surge, right? Operation Metro Surge is the Department of Homeland Security, 2,000 plus agents already there.
No. There's a conference. There's an actual conference of meeting of the minds at like it said. Maybe it was wrong. Maybe Google might have had it wrong.
I doubt it. Let me see here. The meeting advisory task force meeting.
I don't know if it was. I will see.
Okay.
Because it was just the Google AI. There's a couple other things I want to talk to you too, but hold on a second.
Yeah. And if you want, I could take a second and show the videos. I wanted to show the Jesse Ventura video, if that's cool. Do you want to take a second?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's really quickly, everybody, let's just watch this. I think this is kind of an interesting clip. I think you'll enjoy it. I love Jesse Ventura.
Did it make you feel better to have that conversation, or what would you say?
No, I'm just saying, as a graduate of Roosevelt High School and as the former governor of Minnesota, I'm so proud of Roosevelt High School and how they stood up for what is supposed to be America and freedom. And freedom is not arresting people without warrants. We have a system here. It's called a Constitution. And we have a party, the Republicans, who don't seem to want to abide by the Constitution. January 6th is a prime example of that. And now they're all free and they're in charge. You know what? Maybe it's time for Jesse. I only did one term. I'm owed a second.
Mr. Ventura, can you remind us, you went to school here?
I went to school here. I'm a 1969 graduate of Minneapolis Roosevelt. I'm proud of them for what they did. They made me proud as an alumni. Go Teddies.
What are your thoughts? I know we're jumping in, probably doubling up on some of his questions, but what are some of your thoughts about what unfolded yesterday? And then after that, what you saw?
Well, I've told you already, we're a country of the Constitution. We have leadership now that has destroyed the Constitution. They don't follow it. They could care less about it. Am I right or wrong? I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican Party is a domestic enemy to our Constitution. I can't get any bolder than that, can I?
And you obviously saw the video that the students shot outside here, and that obviously elicited a lot of emotions for you. Just watching
What do you mean
that,
the student shot?
there were some students who shot the video of the chaos here yesterday.
No, I
nice.
didn't even see
Oh, you didn't
it.
see it? Okay, I thought you
didn't
did.
see it.
Okay.
The only thing I've seen is the murder.
So talk about, you were a student here. When did you graduate?
1969.
Have you been back here? Talk about that. Is this like first time back?
No, came back to homecoming 2 years ago. No. I'm a proud graduate. I held 3 school records in swimming, 2 District 17 records. Our football team was undefeated. We won. Back then, there were no playoffs. We played St. Paul Central for the Twin City Championship and defeated them. I think it was 21-6. And we did that at the old brick house, if you remember that, the old University of Minnesota.
His freaking qualifications.
And he does say something again. He talks about Trump that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So he's been talking here about how he was the. Yeah, exactly.
That's where they used to play the Twin City Championship.
And now he goes back to attacking Trump. But yeah, we finish it.
Wanted to do it.
And tell them how proud I was of what they did. And you learn things like the Constitution. You learn about warrants. You learn about things of that nature. And what we're getting right now is violating all that, what kids are being taught. You want to know something? I'll give you a quote. We're a third world country now.
He's not
You
wrong.
want to
though.
know why? I'm an expert. I've been to them. I spent 17 months in Southeast Asia while the draft dodger was playing golf, right? You know how I know we're a third world country? Because in third world countries, they have the military doing their police work in the cities when you walk around. I was in the Philippines the day Ferdinand Marcos declared martial law and went under dictatorship. We went from nobody to a guy with a machine gun on every corner. That's what happens in a dictatorship. In comes the military. That's what's happening here. And people better wake up to it. You want to read something? Then read your history of Germany and start comparing the tactics of what happened in 1930s Germany to what's happening here.
I'm so glad that we have wrestlers in politics. You know, they're the only
But
ones
this is so
qualified.
misguided. And I didn't even know after I saw this. I was like, wait, maybe he's right. But then it's like, you find out that they were, and if he knew this, especially because he's saying it's unconstitutional, I'm like, is it? I need to know who's right. But if they were given a year and it's a sanctuary city, then Jesse might not have all the information. You know what I mean? It sounds like he doesn't have all the information and
He's
is
just
making,
riling people up like a wrestler.
exactly. And so that's why I was all worried after I saw that. I'm like, all right, well, he and Hillary Clinton are going to be here on January 23rd. And we've been asked, Waltz directly asked the police. Oh, and there's a hilarious Asmongold video of this. Asked the police to fight ICE, to stop them. And the cops, like, when he hears it, he's like, what? Is he serious? So nobody knows what's going on. It is very and the police are being told by the governor to fight the ICE agents and stand with the people. They probably don't even know what to do. And
well, so that's the real crux of it, right? So let me also just show a clip of this at the beginning here from Tim Walz, Governor Walz.
He told us he was telling me to go get my phone, go get in their faces.
Right.
Stop
Here,
them.
hold on.
Is this the
Hold on.
one?
Let me see if I can. Yeah.
My fellow Minnesotans, what's happening in Minnesota right now defies belief. News reports simply don't do justice to the level of chaos, disruption, and trauma the federal government is raining down upon our communities. 2,000 to 3,000 armed agents of the federal government have been deployed to Minnesota. Armed, masked, undertrained ICE agents are going door to door, ordering people to point out where their neighbors of color live.
Man, your neighbors of color, like this. Wow.
Yeah. This is madness.
Of this guy.
This is madness.
Pulling over people indiscriminately, including U.S. citizens, and demanding to see their papers.
You know who he reminds me of actually is like Noriega in Panama or something. You know what I mean? Like he has this sort of, he's like this little dictator that's been running drug money in banks for people for so long, and he's just trying to get a little bit of protection. And no, it's done. His CIA boys are done.
It's just
grocery stores, at bus stops, even at our schools. They're breaking windows, dragging pregnant women down the street.
They're dragging pregnant women down the street.
I'm telling you what they're doing.
Well, I hate that. We should stop them from dragging pregnant women. down the
Right?
street.
Right? I mean,
I don't think we should be allowing that.
why would he lie? If I was watching that and I hadn't completely broken out of this matrix, I would be like, what? A pregnant woman? An American? You can't do that. You would have to hold me back. Like, I honestly, it's so frustrating because they're not bad people. Right now,
yeah, liberals who hear that, they're doing what the best they can with the information.
For God's
they're
sakes,
given.
they're being told that ICE is taking pregnant Minnesotans and dragging them down the street. Not even illegal, like anything. It's nuts.
They're taking
It's really
good women.
nuts.
The good women.
So
and the good
anyway,
women. Yeah.
I mean, you should. It's worth playing more of that. I don't know because he's going to tell. Yeah, just
okay.
if you can.
It's not a long one. We can even go.
Okay,
for
well,
Plain grabbing Minnesotans and shoving them into unmarked vans. Kidnapping innocent.
This is like he thinks it's not.
I know. That's what it's like. Okay.
Just
Sorry.
plain
Could it be?
grabbing
It could be.
Minnesotans and shoving
Might
them
be
into
happening.
unmarked vans. kidnapping innocent people with no warning and no due process. Let's be very, very clear. This long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. Instead, it's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of Minnesota by our own federal government.
So the thing is, I don't completely disagree with him that some of that could even be happening, but it's like imagine how bad this guy has to be and how terrible he was and how horrible they made Minnesota, that a good chunk of me and of our country is like fine with it. You know what I mean? Like it's maybe Nazi tactics. I can understand what he's saying. Maybe. And if it is, I think a lot of the country find it justified, right?
Because first of all, go watch the latest on what the scam, 94% on the welfare here, and the scam and what the money
What's
that they've
the name
taken.
of the guy? Remind me the name of the Mormon kid who's doing that. The Mormon kid.
I don't even know. We should.
Minnesota
Because again, he
fraud,
came. Yeah, you can show that.
Nick Shirley.
The latest one from today, or it was just put up, because he's going around with this man that's been investigating. I just bless this guy's
Nick
heart.
Shirley, 3 days ago. Let's go to Nick Shirley's channel. Nick Shirley.
Not the daycare one. It's which one is it? He's going to that one, I think, actually. Okay, he's going to the transportation places. This is a whole separate thing from the daycare. So
yeah. And I'm going to reiterate it one more time for those of you who don't know it.
Yeah.
This guy is a freaking Mormon. Good job. Good job, Latter-day Saint. How based is this guy? I'm so stoked. I'm like a pagan.
So there's more. There's just more to that story that came out today with and then now they have him. Yeah, he's interviewing. Our Congress had that sign that he just pointed out in Congress last week, by the way.
Really?
The Learning Center instead of Learning Center. They're like,
there's just stacks of money. They're finding just stacks of money in the Quality Learning Center. Jeez. Yeah, and
there's
so
many
you
of
noticed
them.
this,
There's
right?
many of
You've noticed this situation where you go to these charter schools.
Actually, I
and
think
you park,
that is at one of my
you'll park your cheap car, not that it's a bad car, but just not in a BMW or something, and you park and there'll be like an entire lot of charter schools.
But no, okay,
BMWs,
so
right?
that's the transportation is different. That's like the that might be the teachers that had those, and the
money is going to
I have no
weird
idea.
situations.
But
yeah, well, I mean, how many teachers can afford BMWs? Okay, like in America, in Minnesota. It's kind of suspicious, is all I'm saying.
But they actually have him saying that it's not a transportation service; it's a place where they wire money.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, the one that he got today.
Someone's Keenan says he's in Colorado, and I wanted to bring that up earlier because there's definitely some symbology with Denver, the last dinosaur. But okay, we'll do that. We'll do that later. But thank you for that point. Shout out, Keenan. We love you. Oh yeah. So. How about this one? Should we check out some of this conference? Is this worth watching anything from?
Is this from today?
Yeah. Let's show a little bit of that. I think so.
What was the highlight of that one?
Yes, it was from yesterday, but let me get
what was the headline? I think maybe it was just the headline.
News conference.
Oh no, I think this guy
is the commissioner for the Department of Public
Safety. I can't even hear the sound coming out.
We are here today to let everyone see.
Weird. It's not loud enough to actually hear
some of the
I can hear it.
You can hear it?
Demonstrate.
Okay, weird. For some reason, it's not like possible for me.
We are here today to let everyone see some of the agencies that are here and ready for this weekend as people prepare to exercise their First Amendment rights to peacefully protest. We know that there are several scheduled events. The people you see here represent just a few of the agencies that will be here to help protect public safety, so everyone has the right to express their views.
Like they're just encouraging everybody.
Partners, including the Minnesota.
Everybody else protest.
Yeah, so you're gonna have people from all sides in the snow.
But that's not even what happened. So it looks like a victory for the left today because there was no freezing. There's like 7 people from the right that showed up to protest the fraud today, the last minute fraud rally, which isn't even related to any of this at any point. Like it's totally related, but it's not because it became about Renee Good. And now the fraud stuff in Minnesota isn't being discussed at all. Waltz is our hero. And that's the last thing that they're going to do is bring up any fraud that he's connected to. And they're going to try and keep hiding that from the people of Minnesota. because again, it's so messed up because the issues are directly related that he's trying to, cover up his own issue, but there was a shooting and now there's an insurgency and he's the one in charge, but he's also the one with the fraud, and it's just a huge mess. Yeah.
And you have a clash video. Let me pull up the clash video too, between the pro-ICE and anti-ICE. This is like 2 hours.
What they're chanting? Are you gonna get in trouble for swearing or otherwise play it? Because you got to hear what the catchphrase is for the protest.
Where, like here?
Hands off our neighbors. No racist hate in Minnesota.
Where
it was the very beginning. I think the opening. And did I write it down? I think I wrote it down before I sent it to you.
Thank you much.
Hey, Julia. You
That
got
one I
a
don't
super
understand.
chat from Julia, 1999. Thank you. You two covering the news is fire. Julia, you could probably.
Well, we're
help cover
covering the
news.
facts.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to think about anymore with news.
We should definitely-
truth news. The news. So
We need to get you in here. We should do a Zodiac. We need to get a Julia Common.
I would take a read. I need one. My goodness.
My lord, here.
Nazi hate. What was it? Here. He's giving you the update. There's only 9 people here from the evil
few
Nazi
fascists.
party. Fascists. Whatever. It's all
Well,
Nazis now.
Where's the
Proud way-
violence?
Here he is. Here, no, he's yelling right now.
And a lot in peaceful reasons.
Try to.
No.
Okay.
You could hear him?
No, maybe I went too far. I don't know. I don't.
It was
I don't-
at the very beginning.
I do. I always
It's not at the beginning. It's probably like here, maybe.
in Washington the year after.
Trump rapes kids. Here.
Let's get a little of this for a minute.
F you Nazis.
No,
every
but
day.
they say Minnesota is not okay. There's 2 parts to every one of these, obviously. It's a chant. So what does he say first?
We're Minnesota. What do we say?
Minnesota, what do we say? So that's one of our little big chants here.
Okay.
The next
Wow.
one is it's all Nazi stuff. But
Dude,
there's
and
2
look
chants.
at
The other
look at these
chant, I
security
think-
guys. So often they don't want you to like pay attention, but look at these people here. All these
Oh
people
my
that are
gosh.
around. Look at how
Who are
serious
they?
that lady's face is. These are like
Oh
Teamster
my-
security, I
crisis
imagine.
actors? Okay.
I think they look like Teamster security. I don't know for sure. And some leftists that are just kind of helping, but some of these kind of there's some intense people.
Okay. There we
Okay.
go. Say it loud and say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it
Ooh,
loud
that's
and say
adorable.
it clear. Immigrants. And that's like Sanctuary City. But yes, for a year, right? So I should go there and add it. Immigrants are welcome here for a year.
For a year.
And that year has
Rip, rip,
expired,
rip, rip.
everybody. So that's what I found out because I honestly don't know what side. I didn't know what side I was on. I work in that community. So I'm telling you, there are some great Somali people in the community. All right. And there's some that are not so great. That's how it goes for just about every single place. This one happens to be like people are committing some big time fraud and it got caught. So there should be this heightened alert to maybe stop it from happening because we have people in our state that can't get housing and it's freezing. We have people in our state that can't get money for food and they're starving. So
Right.
if we had a government that could
it's crazy that
redistribute
there are
some of these
homeless.
monies,
Right.
and we're paying for transportation services that aren't transporting kids, daycare centers that don't have kids. So it's the daycare center was one spoke of the transportation wheel, and that's what they exposed today. If you watch that video, it's nuts. It's way more
Minnesota's
than 8
an
billion. 8
insane
billion was one
place to
spoke.
be homeless.
8 billion was one spoke of this wheel that comes from this transportation fraud, essentially. And I'm not the one saying that, so don't come after me. That was at Jacob. Well, yeah, we need at least a little tiny shred of truth, and we can't talk to the other side. It's hard. You don't know how to talk to someone on the left unless you know what they're being told, and what they're being told is you can't say you guys are being lied to. Why would they think that? The mainstream of America is showing them this. We and the right are the bad guys. Look, and we should look like the bad guys because the mainstream has made you rights, any rights, if you're watching the show, look like the bad guys. They are showing images of you doing horrible things, and it's not you. The left is showing so much stuff about the right, and the right never talks about it. The right doesn't say, here's what the left is saying we're doing. That's what they need to do. Obviously, they're not going to do that because that's the only way they can talk to each other. So because you don't know, you just think they hate you for no reason because they're crazy. Well, no, they're telling people on the right that these people love criminals. They want these criminals here. They're sick people. They want the gang leaders to stay in their state. That's not true at all. They don't know that exists. They never have once talked about gang crimes from immigrants on the mainstream news once. My sister would not know there's a problem with gangs at all or immigration. They never talk about it as a problem. So right now, people are like, what's the deal? Why is there a problem with immigration? Trump talked about it, but guess what? The mainstream media never showed Trump talking about it. Right now, we're still a melting pot and things are good to them. So
even though Minnesota's
really
notorious for
little
organized crime. Minnesota's historically been notorious for organized crime. I mean, we've seen in the wine caves or whatever.
Yep.
There's like gunshots from the mafia back in the 30s, right? It's not. I don't mean just recently. It's always been a place where ethno-nationalists, Sicilian ethno-nationalists, Italian ethno-nationalists originally, German eventually Hmong, right? Because if you're a group of a nation of people that have lost their state, right? Like they're no longer allowed. The part of China that they used to live has been completely wiped off the map, and they're in Minnesota, and they're a foot shorter than everybody else. I mean, and they're being exploited, assaulted, treated terribly. Of course, there's going to be organized crime from the Chinese, like the Hmong that were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And Somalis are just going to do the same thing everyone else is doing. It's not like a new, unique thing to work together, to build up a community, to kind of have your own colony away from it. It's the most American thing possible, really. And Minnesota's just known for it, to have organized crime. So, and we're calling it gangs, but it's like, what does that mean, really? That's militia that's protecting their community. I mean, if you're okay with their religion and their color, you would call it something different, right? But yeah.
I had one more tidbit I wanted to say too about what was it, the right and the left hating each other, and how they're being explained to the other side. So another thing is when the right is talking about the left, they will say that they want open borders. I already said they want open borders and they want the criminals. They don't even know what open borders are. Like they've never heard that term. Okay. My sister's never heard of open borders. So Fox has really done a great job of this, because it's like the left has no idea why the right wouldn't like them, because they have no idea what they've been told about them. Now, what they're telling the left about the right is so bad. It's just, but if you believed it, which they should, because it's the mainstream, normal, accepted thing, is that they are taking innocent people and shipping them off. They are taking legal immigrants. They want all immigrants gone. It has nothing to do with violent crimes at all. And it's just any immigrant that is here. Legal immigrants. That the right wants all the legal immigrants out of the country. And they want it to be whitewashed and nationalized. And that's what they're saying the right thinks. And so, yeah, I would think that that's kind of a crazy. I mean, that's an extremist view to want legal people that have immigrated. That's like my dad. He was born, he immigrated when he was 2. So he's a citizen now, but like that would he have to go back to? That's what they're literally saying the right wants. And yeah, you should have a brain and be able to think that that's not true, but it's the mainstream news. You have now you have your governor and your mayor.
Yeah, your governor's saying
telling you to do these things and everything. So it's like, it's really a lot to have to break through to even have a conversation with somebody on the other side. But right now, given what we have with what they're being told about Renee Good is a good time too. Half these people are being told she had right to get away and there was nothing going on here. And the other half are being told she was going to hit this cop and he had the right to shoot, right? No one even sees that. On the left, it looks like she's backing up, trying to get away. And I even saw that video and got really fired up. I'm like, why would they shoot her? She's backing up. She's not even looking at the officer. That's horrible. Well, now they have camera footage of when but they are not showing that on the mainstream.
Yeah. So it's pretty easy to tell. I kind of thought I thought it was kind of important to point out, like, if you shoot somebody and they put their foot onto the pedal, they're going to go the direction that they were going, right? So the car didn't reverse, it accelerates. So clearly the car was not in reverse. It was in forward, and it was in drive mode, and it drove forward.
But she was changing direction, so she had to back up and go forward.
And then forward again. Okay. I mean, but yeah, so the way it's presented on one side, you see one camera and you get one look, and you get the
and then
other
also
camera.
don't stand in front of a vehicle. It was another thing that was being discussed by cops.
So this kind of bothers me because
analyzing it
the
too
idea
is
that I mean, the idea that you have to shoot someone in the face to me means you're not a great
well, you can
cop.
find them later too. Like,
I mean, I feel like you should be able to do something better than shoot them in the face. If if you've been an ICE agent for 10 years and you've been in hostile and violent situations and you still don't know how to get through an action without shooting a white woman in the face, I feel like you just aren't good at your job. I understand the context.
And had 33 stitches. So
you have PTSD from your last experience and you want to like make up for what happened in the past. And I get it, but it's to me bad precedent, because when you shoot someone in the face, it's just it just means that that was a last resort. And if that's your last resort, it seems
he was
like
going to be hit. You remember? He was going to be hit. He had no other choice because he was going to get run over and whatnot, according to what everyone's saying. But
so
if you have
both
people,
sides to me are wrong.
That's what's happening right now. So that's why it's so hard, because neither side is saying anything that's actually right, because they don't know what the issue is. If we could start by just talking to you, like if you have a left and a right on a family, and you could talk about, oh my gosh, can I just ask you what your media told you, because this is what my media told me, and then we need to.
Beckman says she died for nothing. Are you not? I mean, are you sure you're not aware that she died for the Civil War? Are you kind of getting what we're talking about here? Because
maybe she didn't even. Let's talk about this. So they're showing the same image. They're told different issues about it. This is what I told my daughter. This is how I ended it. I said, all right, left's told this, the right's told this. You go, you Google, you search it. You find out the person didn't even exist. It was a pitch. It was all a story. So, I mean, I'm not saying that's this exact case, but half the time
circumstances
they will just insert somebody in the news. It's not even real. The right run it this way, the left run it that way.
Her real name was
You want to know the truth, and it didn't, and that wasn't even a real story. And
Her
my
real
daughter
name
was
was
like,
Sandy.
"What?" I'm like, they just did it to incite the sides. And
I mean, I would say if she died for anything, she died for this. She died for anti-ICE rioters seizing control of roads outside ICE Minneapolis, blocking vehicles to ensure occupants aren't, quote, Nazis before letting
They
them pass.
invaded the home. They invaded the DHS. They took guns.
Right.
Yeah.
And the precedent
Or why wasn't it?
that we're going to get people financing
Supposedly.
the Federal Reserve. I mean, it's Federal Reserve, excuse me. That's kind of a Freudian slip. Not exactly, but the reserves. What am I saying? The Army reserves, like the
National Guard.
The National Guard. Thank you. The National Guard, under the direction of the governor, and the United States Army under the direction of the United States Commander in Chief. And the National Guard even should be under the direction of the Commander in Chief, the president. But it might be that they could just go for the governor, assuming this. So this creates a civil war conflict between two military powers.
There's a lot of different things creating a civil war here.
Right.
Like there's more than one element
in Minnesota
that is happening simultaneously. You got the people so misguided and confused and fired up against the other, to where if they're fighting with guns, they couldn't have a conversation without a mediator explaining what I just did about that part of the news. So that's why everyone watching your show is important, because my sister said to me, because I said, you don't understand, we're living in different places. Mom and dad are being told this and you're being told this, and you need to look it up because that's not even right. And she said, it is. I guess we are living in two different realities. I'm like, yeah. And then there's a third one beyond that. And then you start looking at the news. You're not, you're not the bystander of like watching it, or you're not consuming the news. You're studying it. And that's why I think all of us that have found your channel do. You study the news. You don't watch the news for information, because I've been watching both sides right now because I'm in possibly a civil war. And the only thing they've done is totally confuse everybody, which obviously I knew, but it made me have to question, like, what are my beliefs? What are my values? I'm a sanctuary state. I had to go through all this, and I had to find
it's
out
kind
what
of
it
like
even meant.
so in whose side do you swear allegiance? You know what I mean?
Right?
Because you shouldn't
Yeah.
swear to either side. But it reminds me of my family. I had like my great grand uncle, my grandfather's cousin, were in Yugoslavia, and they had to pick. Do they go join, because like the war was there, World War II? Do you go join the communists, or do you go join the Nazis, or do you? Because there's no way you're fighting for your own town or your own country.
We're gonna
You're gonna have to go fight for one of these.
This is
other
West
groups.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and so this is kind of what they're doing. They're saying you have to ally. Are you going to swear allegiance to to Trump, or are you going to swear allegiance against Trump?
Are you gonna be? They're gonna be asking me that. Is that
I
a
feel like
question
that's
I'm
what it's
gonna
kind of. They're already asking everyone
Door to door?
They're kind of saying you have to swear allegiance with unwavering.
So here's the thing.
unquestioning.
So as a liberal, the only thing you've heard Trump say in whatever years is you got to grab them by the pussy. That's the only thing they still know Trump said. Like to this day, they don't.
Right.
And any soundbite that's hateful, that sounds hateful, that is all they show.
Yeah,
Ever
you have to
on
swear
left.
allegiance.
They
to the
don't have
beanie.
Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
They do not have Trump derangement syndrome. They have watched news, and I would hate him so much had I watched any. If I've been
Right.
watching that, everybody would hate him.
Well,
It
this is
doesn't show anything
ironic
he does.
because you could easily be a mediator in this circumstance, because there are people that
You've had to live
believe
both
you
ways
have
to be able to have.
Yeah, they
have
believe you cannot
understanding.
question anything Trump said. That he's playing fifth-dimensional chess, and he's a godhead, like a pure bodhisattva. And then you have another group that are saying that he's the Antichrist, and just the idea that it might be somewhere in the middle is unacceptable to either. You have to be just zig-heiling one way or the other.
Yeah, it's
But
crazy.
if you were to have a solution to that, the solution is to be critical of Trump and to be critical of the left and to actually
But
try to figure out,
There's
is
no
there
way they're going to be
something.
critical of him because they know that the left is only critical because yes, the Trump derangement syndrome is really just
Yeah, you can
what
vote
happens when
communism
you're
or
told-
fascism. What do you want, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ugh. And it's,
Pick
so
a
what do we
side.
do though? How do we
You better pick
resolve
a side. Buy the card now.
I
You have to
don't.
buy the
There
card
are no
right
sides.
now.
Like I don't give it. Like the
This
sides
is ridiculous.
are.
That's what I mean. This is completely absurd. And we need to destroy this side thing.
For state rights. Wait, what happened? It's just like that's what I was trying to figure out. Because if I have to
Yeah.
take a side, there's neither one is right. I don't know. So
No,
I
they're not.
stand by my side.
And ironically, that's probably the best thing possible, because it means that you could unite both sides simply by everyone leaving both sides.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm not saying
I think,
that
maybe
there's not
maybe
I'm not
you
saying
can
there's-
unite the people of the state, the great state of Minnesota.
right. Yeah.
with that.
As soon as I could walk
I
on
think
water,
you can
which you
talk to
can
both
do.
sides
I've
more
actually
than I
walked
can
on
talk to
water.
both sides.
I've walked on water in Minnesota because it was frozen. So
Well,
that's
there
the
you go.
trick.
And
There it
then
is.
then you get your sainthood.
There
That'd
it
be
is.
great. Come here and save our state. Because the posts I'm seeing are like Minnesota's fallen. I'm like, oh my gosh, have we?
Fire and ice.
It's like the Civil War imminent.
All right. Well, let me also pull up, so just to make sure we covered everything. We're not
Yeah,
gonna
is
be
there breaking news right now? Like right now, there could be someone else that got shot. There's like
I don't think so. I mean, there
babies
probably is
being,
something crazy in Minnesota, but I don't know.
How did that
the
pregnant
day's
woman
young.
turn out? Did that one they ripped off out of the road they were talking about on that? Tim Waltz, when you're saying that? No, Governor.
I'm not sure.
Did they
I
follow
should be
that up?
very careful.
I'm sure it didn't happen. Let me quickly check. Does anyone have any questions for people in Minnesota while I'm here?
They want to trade Alberta for Minnesota. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
Oh,
about-
protests in Greenland right now. I was going to talk about too. Did you see that? Or in Denmark?
Oh,
or
of course.
Greenland?
Yeah.
Things
You know
going
what?
everywhere.
What happened was Germany.
You're talking about the world, the war.
Germany sent 13
War on the
soldiers
world?
to Greenland, A number of countries did. Trump said that any country that sent any soldiers to Greenland is going to pay 10% more tariffs until June, where there will be an accruance of an additional 25% more tariffs. And this will continue until Greenland is acquired by the United States. And it's ironic because, you know, if you send like 10,000, if you send 10,000 troops, maybe,
oh my
but
gosh,
13
it's
guys,
brilliant. It's
13
brilliant.
guys.
Using tariffs to bankrupt. Using tariffs to acquire a country.
Yeah.
Okay,
and they've been
sorry.
trying to get Greenland since
This is like-
1947, right? But the thing about Greenland is it's a
I'm not
bank.
happy. I'm happy.
Greenland's
This is so
basically a
messed up.
bank. Greenland's a bank because underneath the ice is uranium and resources, ore. So it's a ticking time nuclear bomb. You know, as soon as we get to that point that we have access to Greenland or whomever, and yeah, we're going to see that happen
That's
this
why
year.
the tariffs.
It's going to happen this year.
That is so
So,
spooky.
you know,
Who's
you
this
have
financial
Venezuela.
person?
Hopefully a Mormon.
Who comes up
But
with
you
that
got-
idea? Who is like?
Well,
if
we've
we
been
do
trying to
this-
get this since 1947.
but using the tariffs against other countries to bully them into not helping someone in a war is like
It's traditional.
That's crazy.
Actually, that
Is
goes back
it?
to
Is
the
it?
Monroe. Yeah, the Monroe, Madison and Monroe. Back to
But
the Monroe
Greenland?
period.
for why?
Greenland-
Just for their resources? This isn't
Well,
like a violent.
This is
like, what-
another
can't-
irony. So Britain actually had a war against Denmark in the 1800s, and this was based on their commerce ships. And Denmark's always had not a military navy, but had a commercial marine power that was for bringing back and forth resources and trade, not for war necessarily. So the best and only way really to interact with the monarchy of Denmark is through economic sanctions. And it's an inevitability that we're going to see economic sanctions. Now, they can pretend all they want that they want to have a war with the United States. There's no way that Denmark wants to have a war with the United States. And for NATO, which is really what's going on, different groups of Western Europe, to try to go against the United States, it's kind of like biting the hand that feeds you, right? Because they're going there, NATO is financed by the United States. And it's happening now because in 10 years, that might not be the case. It might be that Poland is financing, and we're pushing for Poland eventually to pull the slack that the United States leaves behind. But the United States runs NATO. And so for them to say, oh, well, we're going to go to Greenland and stop you, well, that was a fool's errand. They're going to lose not only Greenland, they're going to lose their own countries if they keep that up. And this is not without remembering Venezuela was just taken by the United States, right? So it's just such a crazy quick blitz that, it's fantastic when there's nothing going on in the news. You hear about things in this huge reverberation, but now there's so much going on in the news. Actually, you barely hear it. Like it's almost,
right.
You know what I mean? Like Venezuela barely,
Speaking of Venezuela, pull up the video about the predictive programming. I wanted you to do a playthrough of that.
Which one
So
is this one?
2013 World of Warcraft, 13 years ago released a video, and we're in 2026 on the game. It says 2026, they storm the beach of Venezuela and they take the president. And it's the same operative team as Special Ops. So there's a video on it, and I just watched a smidgen of it, and it's about predictive programming. And again, the World of Warcraft 2013 game is exactly the script of what's happening now. And I wanted to look into who designed the game, because you have military game
Blizzard.
design for predictive programming for some of this. I know they help with the games that they, I'm sure they help with the war games, right? Like military, but to have it be, they did frame for frame the operation when they were storming it, and it was the same video almost footage, it looked like, of the game and then the actual operation. So it's kind of like Northwoods we found out about, and that connected that to 9/11. It was the original plan.
Did you send me that? I don't know where to find
it's called
Are you sure it's
there's
World
only
of
one
Warcraft, or
video on it.
Do you mean Call of Duty?
Nope.
I see
World of
2013.
Warcraft. It was World of Warcraft. No, it's not Call of Duty. It's World of Warcraft.
Apparently
It's Call of
also,
Duty?
It looks
Is it
also,
Call of Duty?
Apparently also in
Dude,
Call of Duty, yeah.
I went to go get the game. So the guy that did the video, what the heck?
It might
are
be
you sure?
multiple games.
No.
Also-
I watched a video on it, and I thought it was Call of Duty, and I went to get it, and the guy said it's World of Warcraft. So then I went to the store to get World of Warcraft, and they're like, that's not a game. That's on
World of Warcraft is
online.
an online experience, correct?
Right? Okay. So this is
Yeah.
better. So I can get this game. So it was Call of
Sure.
Duty Ghosts. Sorry.
I mean,
That's great.
you probably have
So
it on
I'm sorry
Steam.
about that. That's what I meant. It's Call of Duty. It was a Call of Duty game.
How
And
can you
so
forget?
yeah.
It has duty in the name.
I know. I call it Call of Duties. I know. Because I thought it was Call of Duty, and then I went to get it, and they said it was a World of Warcraft. So I don't know.
Right. Well, so
'cause
yeah,
I-
Caracas
there-
Beach invasion. Of course, I think it's been
So
pretty
13
inevitable,
years
but that they said
after it.
2026
I
is pretty
mean,
crazy.
13
Yeah,
years
13
to have
years.
it, and then do it 13 years later, and then have it be the same special op team. I think the name was the same, even, or like the team that did it is the team that did it in the game. There's a lot of different syncs on the video. Obviously, I don't know that much since I don't even know the game that it was, but
Well, I mean,
I did
it's a
try to get it, and
military
that's why I
invasion
failed.
game. Some people hate the game. Someone said COD Call of Duty Ghost was terrible. So, I mean,
there you go. So
you do you. But at the same time, the predictive programming is there. And
yeah,
that's the
I
important
just thought that
part.
was interesting too.
And it's, of course, inevitably, Venezuela would probably be, you could imagine it's probable that someone would invade it. But 2026,
and
that's so
taking the
specific.
president and that reason, and literally getting their president and taking him out. I think that was the point of the game. Like
Right.
usually, I don't know if it's like kidnapping and whatnot.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. It's a crazy world, but it's exciting times. Try not to get too down, especially if you're in Minnesota. I was ready to protest maybe if I possibly needed to, but didn't know. And I still don't, because I think if we'll see next Friday what happens. If they shut down the state
So chill about
for
it.
a certain reason, then I might have to go say something, because my kids, I'm not going to be peaceful if they're like being forced to do something that's against our morals. I don't know. They're not forced to, I guess. You just stay home. But if we're not supposed to go shopping or to school or to work, it's just such a weird reasons for it. Protesting ICE, which I don't know that we have warrant to. That's what I was also saying. Do I have a reason to protest them? Are they doing something that's against my state's rights or that we are unaware of? Was it unlawful? Is it unconstitutional? So find me getting to the bottom of those things.
My concerns, because it's so easy to be myopic, to be short-sighted. It's so easy to today be so emotional that you want revenge enough to destroy yourself tomorrow. And that's what I keep seeing with politics. People will be so worried about something that they'll enact the Patriot Act on themselves, right? People will be so upset at the other side that they'll go at them and justify some sort of police brutality, which will be used on them in 4 years. And this seems to be going on worse and worse, more and more. And right now, more than ever, we've seen the left justify all sorts of atrocities, which was kind of what the right was pointing out. They were justifying atrocities in order.
Give me an example real quick.
Okay,
Give me
so
an
like-
example of the left justifying an atrocity.
Okay, so I think for one, the Patriot Act and security, things. That's a big one. That's in terms of Facebook censorship, free speech curtailing, these kinds of things. The curtailing of free speech, and I just meant when I say atrocity, any sort of abridgment of your human, constitutional, or sovereign rights, right? And so these rights that are being chipped away at, the left has been known to justify the retraction of individual rights for the sake of the better community, right? That's
Okay.
kind of the
Okay.
ideal. And similarly, the right has said, well, we need to abridge the rights of people in order to go after terrorists, or we have to go after immigration criminals or violent criminals, or whatever the justification is. Or soon we have to deal with protesters, which are interfering with our campaign for a better utopia. And so this is going to be
Seems like those should be
something-
flipped, honestly.
well, they are usually, and every 4 years they
It's
are.
nuts.
And
Yeah,
this
I
is
know. Again,
and Nietzsche
Sorry.
talked about this with the Christians, right? That the Christians were really chill and pacifist when they were illegal and they lived in sewers. But as soon as the Christians were put in charge under Constantine and they could kill anyone they thought were sinners, quote unquote, well, they became exceedingly violent and dangerous, right? So this happens to any group that you might think while they're on the outs, they're great. Trump on the outs was very great.
Well, hold on.
Democrats
Go
on
ahead,
the
finish
out
there,
are usually pretty great. I mean, that's the thing. Once they're in charge, though, then they can justify the destruction of the other side, their opponents.
I'm just trying to think of a freedom that the right's okay with giving up to be safer or whatever.
Well, I
Anyway,
mean, I think the fact that they want that you could be that you have to have your papers checked constantly, that you're going to be monitored again.
So you're just
like a
bothered,
surveillance
but
state
like,
thing.
okay, gotcha. So your freedom, like that way, they're okay with that.
Yeah.
Since it's keeping people safer and whatnot. Yeah, I
Well,
get that.
maybe it'd be better to like think this with AI. I'm going to ask this: which rights are the left willing to sacrifice for the betterment
This is great.
of society, and which
I thought you said the right
rights
was doing that right
are
now.
the right willing to sacrifice
Okay, gotcha.
for
There we
the
go.
betterment of society?
I love that. The AI is doing good things here.
It's a curious question.
That's how I learned about the sanctuary cities. It's so fast.
Right could prioritize some collective security. I think, yeah, both sides consider trade-offs in rights like gun ownerships, free speech limits, privacy, social goals. Left might sacrifice negative rights like property freedoms for positive entitlements such as welfare. Right might sacrifice privacy for surveillance to enhance national security and law enforcement. I think that's pretty much the answer we're looking for.
I can again see that flipping. Like I feel like
course.
growing up it was totally opposite, especially during after like security and like
Well, gun rights,
being
though.
private is like a definite thing that is ingrained in the conservative values, I would think.
Economic.
Totally right
So the left have economic and property rights, higher taxes, wealth redistribution, free speech, like limits on hate speech, corporate or market freedoms, antitrust measures, or labor protections that curb business autonomy in order to prevent exploitation by corporations, which are individuals with rights. And then the rights, privacy rights, reproductive or bodily autonomy rights, immigration or movement rights, due process and security context. So both
Can
are
I make one more point before we close today, by the way?
Please.
One thing, just about if you have a lot of our parents were immigrants, maybe, or some of our parents. I don't know if yours or the grandparents for sure. My dad was like 2, I said. So I was also explaining it this way because he's not seen as an immigrant in the same way that immigrants are seen because he's not of color, right? But when he came here when he was 2, there was nothing. There is no language help. We have ESL and whatever else now. Interpreters we pay to teach English language in schools to all these students that are coming in. It's great. My dad never got that. He didn't have these programs. So he's upset. I'm like, well, how great, Dad, would it have been had you had that? I'm trying to make him see that it's kind of neat if you're going to have any of this integration, which is going to happen. Then you have people that are helping with the transition, whatever. But so he had to come over here and do all this. And his parents, my grandparents, ran from bombs in Nazi Germany, and she was on train cars and had to wear a helmet like during storms when she was older because she still had PTSD from being involved in war. And they came to America and they were so grateful. So they have this grateful immigrant perspective at a different time in society. Now we still have immigrants coming in, and the perspective of these people that came here before isn't wrong. Like it's my dad to be patriotic and to come from a war-torn country and appreciate where you are is a good thing. And so when he sees people coming here and not appreciating the country, it makes him upset. And then to try and talk to my sister to explain that Dad is an immigrant. You know what I mean? His parents were full out immigrants as an adults that came over. And they became citizens and they loved it. They loved it here. So he has a bias that is totally okay. And you cannot judge that bias at all. And it's right. It's good. And it's really messed up that when people think of immigrants, they don't think of those people as immigrants anymore. And I don't know. I don't know how to get back to that, or just I reminded her of that point. And she was kind of like, I don't know if it resonated at all, because right now I'm sure she thinks my parents are evil because of what they've been programmed to think about sides. And she knows I'm not like, obviously I'm like anti-politics at this point, because it's just been it's hard. It's hard to even care. But I have to, because it's like, it's directly in my state now. And it's like, so it's kind of, I'm being forced to, like, I might actually be forced to make a decision.
Well, I hope the decision isn't to be a joiner to either side necessarily, but to call out both of them. I mean, I know it's like the least profitable way to.
I'm saying literally, if people come door to door and say, "Who are you with?" I mean, what is that? Are we going to get to that point? I don't think we'll get there here, but in the downtown area, I have no idea what's going to happen this next couple of weeks. Hopefully, it phases out, because right now we're at war with the world. It's like America's war on the world. Yet there's a civil war happening in America. So it's really ironic that you're going to have this civil war and then every day say, come into Venezuela, come into Greenland, I'm coming to wherever else we're going, Iran. I mean, we're everywhere. And yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know how
I'm gonna reiterate, I guess, what we found out, which is that Hillary Clinton will be at the Target Center. If you're
I'm gonna get my tickets.
And you want to go hear what she has to say, that might be the safest place in the state, I would imagine. So
I know. I don't know. It's the peace rally, so.
Yeah. Do you want to? Should I maybe also share? I'm going to share your channel so that people can find.
I have Recent Tartarians and the Truth Fairy. I should start going back on there because there's a lot of stuff to be broken down.
Yeah.
Yep. It's been a minute since we posted anything. Oh, it's Julia and I.
Yeah. And hey, I'm really excited that Julia was here. So let's definitely do a show together with Julia.
Yeah.
We'll set something up soon to talk about.
It is Julia. Yeah, I need an astrology read because I was like losing it, and I'm doing better today, but we'll see. I just have to not be programmed by anything. It's really hard because finding facts right now in Minnesota is challenging, and everybody has to like go outside of even YouTube right now because I don't even know. Yeah, they're showing the rallies. I'm looking and seeing, and right now we're all safe. And hopefully this thing blows over and they stop the fraud and Minnesota still exists after January 23rd.
Right. Well, so, I mean, I just wanted to make sure that we did this early enough that people know that this is something that they can, they look forward to, or you can consider like January 23rd is kind of an important date for what's coming in the next year is going to kind of depend on what happens, I think, on January 23rd, to be honest. I think that's going to be a big part of what to expect is not just worldwide conflict, but domestic. 2026, we thought 2025 was an interesting
I thought 2020, yeah, 26 is going to be the best year ever. I kept saying it. So
it very well might be. It very well might be. All right. But let's do it again. Let's do it. We're going to have to come back and talk about this again next time. Maybe let's get Julia.
We'll see how it goes this week in Minnesota. And maybe if things are going crazy, we'll meet back up on like Wednesday or something midweek and do a little update.
Right. And everybody, just don't be freaked out. Like, don't talk to this the other side. Yeah, this is the point of this, is that we should be talking to the other side and understand where they're coming from, because if you understand where they're coming from and what their values are, you're going to be way better suited to find some sort of an amicable solution, because you'll also be able to see where the holes are. And if you can't see where the holes are on one of the sides, then you're blinded to that side, and it's important to know that. Right?
I commend the media showrunners.
They're doing an amazing job.
It's great.
You're doing a better job than like ever before. I'm actually really impressed. It's like they sucked so bad.
It was so good. It's
really
like,
good right now.
They can literally say opposite things one channel away, and no one will ever find out. It's nuts. Brilliant.
All right. Brittany, it was a pleasure. Let's do it again soon.
Peace out. Much love, fam.
This next story has been suppressed by mainstream media. Let's go to Andreas for more.
Everybody, tune in to Recent Tartarians.
Recent Tartarians. Recent Tartarians.
Hello. Welcome to the Exators. Tune in for another exciting episode of wonder, imagination, and discovery.
Recent Tartarians. Recent
Она образует всеобщие закономерности, определяющие законы классической физики для нашего
Sometimes I
мира.
look at the moon and just think, your skin's beautiful.
Baby, when I met you, there was peace unknown.
Что касается энергии наномер, то она превышает ядерную в немыслимое число раз. 10 в 74 степени.
That's it. That's it. That's it. With your arms now. That's it. That's it.
Thank you for watching Exatos. Keep listening. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, please follow and subscribe and share and support. It really helps. Coming up next, Exatos.
By the way, that's gone. If you didn't record that, that's gone forever. It's gone.